It is the 2025 MEAC Women's Basketball Tournament as part of Champ Week on ESPN+. Today from Norfolk, Virginia, the #1 seed and defending two-time conference tournament champion, the Norfolk State Spartans will face the 4th-seeded Eagles of Coppin State University. A look at the bracket. It is semifinal Friday. The top 4 seeds held serve through the quarterfinal round. Later today, 2 versus 3, Howard against Maryland Eastern Shore for a trip to the conference championship game Saturday afternoon here inside of the Scope. And that's where we are, courtside. Great to be with you here on Semifinal Friday. I'm Sean Robertson along with the coach, Ramona Riley Bozier. She knows what it's like to be in this championship environment. She's won 5 MEAC volleyball championships. What are you telling your teams right now as we're moments away from that last step to championship Saturday?
First of all, you got to embrace where we are. Got to be excited that you have made it this far and settle down. But we know we're going to see a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiousness, just want to get it going. But we got to take one play at a time.
For Coppin State, our Wells Fargo player to watch, the defending 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Layla Lawrence.
Layla Lawrence, man, you know, what can you say about her? She has a long resume. She's been getting it done. Yesterday we saw her play very, very well. And she's going to need to play well today because she's going against one of the best defensive players in the conference, post player here, Wheeler.
No question. And for Norfolk State, our Wells Fargo player to watch, the reigning Player of the Year and Tournament MVP, Diamond Johnson.
Diamond Johnson, again, a long resume. Again, what can't you not say about Diamond? She is a diamond, and she's going to need to get her team going. That's one of the things that she likes to do, is get her team going and then create for herself.
Norfolk State swept the season series from Coppin State, winning 82-66 on January 11th, and then won by 22 on February 22nd, 76-54. Moments away from the opening tip, which is controlled by the #1 seeded Spartans of Norfolk State, wearing their home gold. And Anjanae Richardson, the MEAC 6th Person of the Year, has it now for NSU, guarded by Tiffany Hammond. Richardson to the basket, altered by Layla Lawrence, and Hammond the rebound for Coppin State.
Well, this is a good start right now for the Eagles.
Here are the Wells Fargo starting lineups for Coppin State: Worley, Hammond, Jones, McTeer, and the aforementioned Lawrence, our player to watch. They look in the corner, and a 3-ball is nailed by Worley, who shoots 34% from behind the arc this season. It's Coppin State off to a good start as we take a look at the Wells Fargo Norfolk State starting lineup. Fields, Johnson, our player to watch, Richardson, Diawara, and Wheeler. Fields getting double teamed, found Wheeler, takes it all the way into the lane, and hits her first shot.
Well, that time, Wheeler recognizing that no one's coming out to guard her. How could you let Wheeler be all alone by herself? And Wheeler able to knock down that short jumper.
She had 2 huge games against Coppin State in the regular season. She averaged nearly 24 points in those 2 meetings against the Eagles. They look inside to Lawrence against Wheeler. And Wheeler grabs her first board.
And Layla Lawrence coming up a little short on that little short jumper.
Johnson finds Wheeler all alone. A good spin inside against McTeer. And we have a foul. They're going to credit it to Lawrence. Check it, will go against McTeer, her first.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see Layla Lawrence. I know she did a nice job keeping her feet set, arms raised high above her head. But McTeer, we can see, grabs the little body as she takes that spin move.
Yeah, Layla looked upset. She was thinking that might have been a charge. But I didn't know she was in that restricted area.
Well, it was definitely a foul before Wheeler actually made contact with Lawrence.
Wheeler at the line, as I mentioned, she averaged 23.5 points in the 2 games this season against Coppin State. That was the most against any other team in the MEAC. She also averaged 10.5 boards this season. We have the #1 and #2 rebounding players in the MEAC on the floor today. Lawrence #1, Wheeler was #2.
And we see Norfolk State in that full court press. They're coming out early, shooting threes.
Worley missed that one. It was recovered by Angel Jones after Wheeler made both of her free throws. And stolen by Norfolk State. Here's Johnson up ahead to Williams. No, out of bounds, so it'll stay with Norfolk State.
Well, Williams, when they started this tournament off, she was not in the starting lineup. And a lot of times she's not in the starting lineup, but the defense that she played on Wednesday when this tournament started was phenomenal and got her team up and going, because South Carolina State was giving the Spartans a lot of havoc.
Williams only started 3 times in the regular season, but scored 11 points in the quarterfinal win against South Carolina State. Spartans up 4-3. Wheeler with the great up fake and scores yet again. She's got all 6 of Norfolk State's points.
Well, she's just going to be very, very tough to handle. I'm surprised that Angel Jones didn't get called for a foul.
Spartans and Wheeler on a 6-0 run over the last 90 seconds. Tyler Gray in for Coppin State, wearing number 21. Deep inside was Layla Lawrence, had it stripped, got it back, faces up at the free throw line, and the rebound to Johnson, her second early on.
And that's something that Lawrence is going to need to be able to do, is hit a few jumpers.
They go back to Wheeler. Guarded by Lawrence. Faces up and hits again. Against the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Wheeler has all 8 of the Spartan points.
So we already know that we're watching 2 of the best post players in the conference.
Almost taken away by Johnson. Gray guarded by Williams. They go back to Lawrence on the baseline with 5 to shoot. Lawrence goes left, loses the handle. Lawrence gets it back, and a shot clock violation. The defense by Norfolk State against Lawrence early on has been sensational.
It has, and I think we're going to continue to see this throughout the course of the game. Both teams pressuring 2 of the best players, not just post players, but 2 of the best players, I believe, in this conference.
How about this? We also have the last 2 players on the all-defensive team as well as the post with Wheeler and also Lawrence. Fields off of the Wheeler screen, and a whistle against Coppin State. It'll go against Tyler Gray.
And Tyler Gray, a player who hasn't played since January. Yesterday was her first game since early January, and got to start today.
She missed the last 10 games with an injury. Diamond Johnson finds her first 2, and Coach Jermaine Woods will use a timeout as Norfolk State is on a 10-0 run over the last 3+ minutes. Is Johnson and Wheeler with all 10 of the Spartans' points as they lead 7 here at the MEAC Women's Basketball Tournament on ESPN+. Norfolk State with a 10-3 lead, and we're going to listen to Coach Bozier and her keys to the game for game 1 of our semifinal.
Well, Norfolk State, how are they going to beat Coppin State? Come out, continue to play aggressive full court, and control the boards. Also stay focused, and yesterday we saw where they got a little lax against South Carolina State. So you definitely don't want to see that happen today against teams such as the Eagles. And then for Coppin State, how are they going to beat Norfolk State? They're going to have an inside-outside game, get the ball in the post, kick it out, possibly get some threes, control the boards, and stay out of foul trouble.
Lawrence again with another post pass entry and a steal by Norfolk State. Worley comes up with a great play, but couldn't save it as Norfolk State will retain it. As Coppin State will bring in Ari Balinga. And she replaces Layla Lawrence, so that'll be key to see where now Coppin State will get their offense without Lawrence on the floor.
Well, I figure they won't need to double Lawrence when she touches the ball, so potentially, hopefully, give at least a couple players that will be open.
Here's Johnson on the move. Hits again. Diamond Johnson now with 4 and a 12-0 Norfolk State run.
Diamond Johnson's just smooth. Again, one of the best players in the conference. And I would have to put her up there with multiple players even outside of this conference.
That would be a fair assessment, I would agree. What she has done not only at this level, but also in the Power 5 level from her time at Rutgers and NC State. Johnson almost forced a turnover and another shot clock violation, but they're going to let it play out. Wheeler with the loose ball, up ahead to Williams, and 2 more for Norfolk State, continuing their run now at 14-0.
Yeah, Coppin State Eagles, they were sitting there complaining and fussing with each other, whereas Norfolk State continued to keep playing. And that was an easy layup made by Norfolk State.
What do coaches say? Play the game, not the scoreboard.
That's right.
Coming up on 4 minutes left in the quarter. Worley had it go through her hands. Great play by Richardson to knock it out with 10 to shoot.
Well, I tell you, Richardson, she has really improved her game. We've seen her get a couple of touches, deflections here, and doing a nice job on defense, where we see her now go to the bench.
And Richardson's evolution from the offseason to now being a 6th person of the year in the MEAC. Here's Gaston misfiring on the 3 and out of bounds to Norfolk State.
And that's exactly what Eagles are going to need to do, is look for another way to score. As you can see, they're not getting anything in the paint. So they're going to have to be able to knock down some threes.
A 14-0 run after Worley's 3-pointer for Coppin State gave them an early lead. It has been all Norfolk State since. Williams in the corner. Missed on the 3, and Gaston the long rebound. Angel Jones, who had 9 points and 10 rebounds in the win against Central on Thursday. Hammond left open for 3. Jones an offensive rebound and a new 20. She goes right back up, missed it, gets her own miss, and it tickles in for her first 2.
Well, I tell you, that was a nice little bounce. Jones worked really hard, coming up big with offensive boards in the putback.
That stopped a 14-0 Norfolk State run. Johnson catch and shoot. Missed on the 3, and there's Williams with an offensive rebound. Another 3 put up by Debria Clark. Lawrence back in for Coppin State, grabs her first rebound.
Yeah, Debria Clark was wide open for that 3. Came up short.
Coppin State just 2 for 9 from the field in this first quarter, 22% shooting. Coppin has Balinga and Lawrence on the floor in the post.
And you got to recognize that, Lawrence needed the ball a little earlier. And she had the mismatch. Balinga unable to see that, and seems to be unsure what she wants to do with the ball, and 2 shot clock violations. And if Lawrence got her player post, you got to give her the ball early.
Immediately.
Especially when there's a mixed match.
Hammond just picked up her first foul. Coppin has 3 team fouls here in the first quarter. Norfolk State yet to commit a foul with 2:22 left in the quarter. Balinga now comes out. McTeer back in, wearing number 10. Richardson off the screen, a pretty spin move in the lane. Couldn't finish, and Hammond clears. Looks up ahead for Lawrence against Wheeler. McTeer yanks down an offensive rebound and a foul on Norfolk State.
Well, the Eagles definitely getting some second shot opportunities, but still having a difficult time with being able to get that ball in the hole.
Dajane Williams, the junior from Brooklyn, by way of St. John's, grabs her first foul. Under 2 to go here in the first quarter. Norfolk State with a 9-point lead. Extra pass to Gaston, hounded by Diamond Johnson. McTeer has it against Wheeler. Lawrence an offensive rebound. Layup too strong. McTeer had it blocked out by Wheeler. Last touch by Coppin, and Norfolk State will regain possession.
Well, Lawrence, nice job getting the offensive boards, but rushed that shot and came up short. And can't afford to miss those type of easy layups.
Coming up on 90 seconds to go, an offensive foul on Norfolk State.
That's going to be 2 on Hammond.
Williams with her second, setting an illegal screen. And
that was called on Norfolk.
Sky Robinson, the transfer from VCU, will come in for the first time to replace Williams. Hammond, McTeer, Jones, Gaston, and Lawrence, the 5 for Coppin State. Here's Jones's runner on the baseline. Angel Jones with 4. She's got 4 of the 7 Coppin State points as they trail 7.
Yeah, we didn't see any of that out of her yesterday, but today, that was nice, sweet, and a nice finish. Okay, Coppin Eagles starting to turn it up on defense, force a turnover.
That's Norfolk State's second in this quarter. Coppin with 4 turnovers so far. And now a little 1-2-2 full court press by Norfolk State, and they're going to get a reach in against Debria Clark.
Yeah, well, Coach definitely wants his players to continue to stay aggressive and pressure the ball. That time Clark just a little bit too aggressive, right in front of the referee, called for that foul.
We're inside a minute here in this first quarter. Lawrence guarded by Wheeler with now 10 to shoot. Hammond recovers it, guarded by Johnson with 5 to shoot. McTeer in the lane. Shot clock violation, the 3rd of the quarter, forced by Norfolk State.
You just said it, Sean. 3 times that's happened. And it's like they're looking for Lawrence, they're looking for Jones to be able to score. You got to face the basket and look at the clock, put the ball up. What could possibly happen? Either goes in or it doesn't go in.
5 turnovers for Coppin State in the quarter and only shooting 21%. Wheeler stepping out, and that thing almost went down, showing off the range. Here comes Coppin State down by 7. Mismatch with Richardson guarding her. Now Wheeler comes to help. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by Wheeler.
Well, Wheeler and Lawrence both can shoot the ball on the perimeter. And that's what maybe Lawrence is going to need to do, is going to take a few more jump shots as opposed to looking for the ball in the paint.
Under 10 seconds for Coppin State to work with. Jones for 3. The rebound to McTeer and out of bounds as the first quarter comes to an end, as Jones was crashing the glass to keep possession alive. And after a 14-0 run by Norfolk State, Coppin State scored the last 4 in the quarter to trail by 7 after 1 here at the MEAC tournament. Start of the second quarter here at the Women's MEAC tournament in Norfolk, Virginia. We are in the semifinal round, semifinal Friday, with Norfolk State leading 14-7, but they're in the midst of a 4.5-minute scoring drought. After that 14-0 run, Coach Bozier, Coppin State scored the last 4 points to be within 7 to begin these next 10 minutes.
Well, someone's got to score, and we're starting to see a little bit of that in the last few minutes of that first quarter. They got to pick it up. Right now, they're shooting at 18.8%. That is not enough to beat Norfolk State.
Jones's runner is no good, and yanking down the board is Wheeler. 3 boards so far in the first half. Johnson. Last touch by Robinson out of bounds, and Coppin State gets it back.
Well, one of the things Wheeler does, if she comes up with the defensive board, she will take it herself. And we just saw that and then kicked it out to Diamond Johnson. But Diamond Johnson came up short on that baseline jumper.
Just shooting 43% so far, 0 of 4 from 3, while Coppin State has made 1 of their first 6. Lawrence from straight away. Rebound kept alive by the Spartans and retrieved by Johnson.
And I think that's what Lawrence is going to need to do. That time coming up short.
Here's the matchup, Wheeler and Lawrence. Johnson off the screen. Robinson left open, little short. Jones clears it. She already has 4 boards in this first half.
Probably one of the smallest players on the court. Not sure which one's taller, Jones or Johnson.
Johnson, I would say, by the bun. Jones averaged nearly 5 rebounds a game during the regular season. Shot clock's at 5 for Hammond. Hammond has to hoist one up. Air ball and another shot clock violation.
Again
4 in the half for Coppin State.
Again, the Eagles, you got to keep moving the ball. Set some screens. But someone has got to shoot. And right now, no one wants to shoot the ball.
Clark, Johnson, Richardson. Check it. Fields, Johnson, Richardson, Robinson, and Wheeler. The 5 for the Spartans on the floor. A rolling pass to Wheeler down low, and that's too easy. She's got 10 to lead all scores.
Well, credit that pass that Richardson delivered.
That was nearly a 6-minute scoring drought for Norfolk State before that Wheeler basket. Lawrence faces up. Long rebound chased down by Fields. Here's Richardson to Johnson, left open for 3. Diamond Johnson, her first from downtown, and the Spartans' first make from distance to make it a 12-point lead.
Well, Diamond Johnson doesn't miss too many buckets when she is wide open.
McTeer for 3. And Robinson let her go out of bounds.
Well, I don't think coach is too happy about that that shot. But again, someone has to shoot the ball, and she was wide open, so you got to take it. And we've seen Lawrence now back-to-back shooting threes, and they're not going in. She may need to take like at least one dribble in and then possibly look for a shot.
Johnson a little long on that 3. Coppin State clears, now trying to run. Johnson gets back on D to stop the break. Stripped by Richardson. And we got a foul as Worley got rolled up by Sky Robinson. That's her first. Coach, one thing I noticed, especially the last couple of possessions for Coppin State, is how late in the shot clock they start their offense before really trying to get something going.
Yeah, you said the Eagles, correct?
I'm sorry, yeah, Coppin State, yeah.
Yes, I would have to agree, and that's why they're running in situations where they've had 4 shot clock violations. Doing a better job here in these last 2 possessions, but still coming up short.
Iawara back in for Norfolk State, replacing Sky Robinson on that last trip. A little backdoor cut by Diamond Johnson, and she'll score her 9th point.
Oh, that's just smart basketball. Fake to go to her left and went right to her right. Textbook.
Here is Gray inside. Gets her own miss. Extra pass to Jones. Shooting for 3. Rebound to Fields. 21-7, Norfolk State leading. Richardson off the screen. Pops and hits.
Oh, that looks sweet.
The 6th person of the year, her first field goal to make it a 23-7 Norfolk State lead. Worley from deep. Richardson claims the rebound from Johnson. Nothing but gold jerseys underneath to get that rebound.
Well, again, we're seeing something a little different by Coppin State Eagles. Definitely taking out some shots a lot quicker, but maybe a little bit too early.
They tried to go backdoor again. Great play by Coppin State. Lawrence brings it up. Gets contact by Robinson and muscles it up for a chance at 3.
Well, talk about the post players having some ball handling skills. First we saw Kiera Wheeler, and this time Lawrence comes up with the rebound, goes coast to coast, throw a little body in there to draw that contact. Nice little easy layup. Lawrence, not one of the best free throw shooters, but she is at the free throw line, and every point counts.
64% shooter from the line this year. She actually leads the conference in made free throws and attempts this year. But missed that opportunity at 3 to keep it at 23-9. Diawara for 3. As she hits the floor, so did Lawrence. Wheeler inside will get a chance at 3 on the other end.
Well, Wheeler just muscled her way, boxed out, came up with the offensive boards. Easy putback, and saw her muscling up. And you see, she was just a little tougher than Worley underneath. And again, came up with that offensive rebound. Not only muscled up, she also had a stomp in there as well. So
a stomp and a flex. She has 13. She has half of Norfolk State's points. And Angel Jones just threw it away.
Well, right now they're just doubling up on Angel Jones, and she's got to kick it out. Someone's got to come back to the ball, and a turnover just occurred.
The run continues for Norfolk State as they're up 17 on ESPN+. Here from beautiful Norfolk, Virginia, it is the semifinal round of the women's MEAC tournament inside the Scope. Norfolk State with a 26-9 lead over Coppin State, trying to take that next step to a potential three-peat. No team in the MEAC has done that since Hampton won 5 straight from 2010 to 2014.
Well, you got Wheeler and you got Johnson, and there's definitely that opportunity for them to make some history with the three-peat. Still got to get through these Eagles.
Still a lot of time for Coppin State to make a run, but they trail by 17 as Debria Clark back in, and she throws it in the backcourt. Lawrence trying to chase it down, but it'll roll out of bounds. And a turnover for Norfolk State, their 4th of the first half.
The Coppin State Eagles, they got to find a way to get some offense. Right now, they're shooting at a 15.4%. That is not enough if you want to get to, well, if you want to beat Norfolk Spartans.
Norfolk has been in the title game 4 of the last 5 tournaments. Jones with a tough shot. Wheeler back tapped it as Coppin retrieves it. Tyler Gray wearing 21, normally wears 5. Back in the lineup after missing the last 10 games of the regular season. 5 to shoot for Coppin. Jones in trouble, finds Gray for 3. And the long rebound retrieved by Johnson.
Well, nearly
again, rushing with the shot clock winding down. Debria Clark misses on the 3. Jones with the rebound, her 5th of this first half.
Right now, the Eagles need Jones to be able to put the ball in the hole.
Here's Lawrence facing up against Wheeler and swishing it home.
And that's exactly what Lawrence is going to need to continue to do. There's nothing open for her on the box because they're doing a good job of guarding Jones, and Jones can't get it into her.
Lawrence's 2nd field goal of the game. Skip pass to Johnson. She gets bumped by Hammond, and who we thought would be the X factor in this tournament for Coppin State now has 2 personal fouls.
Well, Tiffany Hammond is, right now, she's 0 for 2. Need to get her going, but the Eagles haven't really done a good job of setting any type of screens, freeing anyone open. And credit Spartans with their defense.
Norfolk State has outscored Coppin 12-4 in the 2nd quarter. Clark having problems handling it, out of bounds, last touch by Gray, as Tyler has provided great defense on Clark as Richardson returns for Debria.
Well, Clark been coming in and out and not playing her best game, and so unfortunately she's got to go to the bench.
Fields, Johnson, Richardson, Diawara, and Wheeler. The 5 for Norfolk State as they're wiping sweat off the floor. Gotta mention our 3 officials this afternoon: Jaleesa Painter, Monjay Finney-Smith, and Jimmy Gerald. Here's Wheeler, had her shot blocked by Lawrence and a violation. Shot clock violation against Norfolk State.
Oh, wow. Lawrence coming up big with that block shot, and that's the first shot clock violation called on the Spartans.
Under 3 to go here in the first half. Norfolk State has led basically throughout. Coppin State's last lead was 3-2 at the 8:54 mark of the first quarter. Here's Hammond with 5 to shoot. Jones has it with 2. Jones lost it in the air, and the 6th shot clock violation against Coppin State.
Wow, Spartans just not giving up any type of room where any of the players can get any shots off. Got to look for Lawrence down low. If she's posting up, just give her the ball and just let her do work, clear out. And that time, Wheeler not defending her, and I believe Lawrence can get to the hole. I mean, especially if Wheeler is not defending her.
Norfolk State in another long scoring drought. They haven't scored in nearly 3 minutes, yet lead by 15. Wheeler steps out, doesn't get the bounce, and Lawrence with her 5th rebound. Kyla Moore, wearing 0 for the first time, appears for Coppin State. Look to Lawrence, guarded by Wheeler. 10 to shoot. Moore, hounded by Fields. Here's Lawrence inside and had it lost.
And that was
Norfolk State
taken away from Lawrence.
Johnson with the scoop on the reverse, and out of bounds to Coppin State as Lawrence hit the floor as she collided with a teammate.
For Lawrence, you're going to give her the ball, just clear it out, create some space. The last possession, it was just cluttered. No room for Lawrence to be able to go.
Richardson off of the Wheeler screen. Little hesitation move. Diawara an offensive rebound. And a jump ball. The arrow stays with Norfolk State. Diawara giving Norfolk State good minutes. She came into the tournament 10th in the MEAC in rebounds per game. Wheeler's call for travel.
So that's the 6th turnover for the Spartans.
Norfolk State's scoring drought is up to nearly 4 minutes. And Coppin State has not scored in over 2.5. Coming up on 1 minute to go in the first half. Hammond for 3. In and out. Rebound recovered by Hammond. Found Lawrence inside, and she goes window for 2.
Well, let that be a spark for the Eagles. Being aggressive on defense and finding Lawrence for the easy layup.
Lead is at 13. Diawara for 3. Ring it up. Her 19th made 3 this season, and has snapped a scoring drought of nearly 5 minutes for Norfolk State.
It appears as though for the Spartans, every player has the green light to shoot the 3.
As long as they make it. If they don't, you're gonna see it and hear it from Coach Vickers. A 4.5 second differential between the big clock and the small one. Gray off of the Lawrence screen. Hammond is fouled by Johnson. With 8.5 seconds to go. Not close to the penalty for Norfolk State, but Coppin will get a chance at one more shot before the end of the half. A little 2-woman game possibly with Gray and Lawrence. Off of the screen, and they don't get a shot off. That was the type of story for Coppin State in the first half, as they were 6 of 31 from the field, 19%, as Norfolk State jumps out to a 16-point lead after 20 minutes. Halftime activities from the Scope after this on ESPN+. About to start the second half here in Norfolk in the first semifinal of the MEAC women's tournament. Norfolk State with a 16-point lead over Coppin State behind the duo of Kiera Wheeler and Diamond Johnson as they scored 22 of the 29 first half points. There's a shot of Jermaine Woods getting his team together to see if they can make a run in these final 20 minutes to see themselves in a championship final. This is their first trip back to the conference semifinal in nearly 10 years. They try to get back to potentially win their 5th all-time conference tournament title.
But right now, they haven't seemed to have changed anything different with who's going to be in the starting lineup. And I'm sure there's a lot of talk in that locker room with Coach Jermaine saying, hey, look, we got to find a way to score. And score a little earlier in the shot clock. Because we saw multiple, what was it, a total of 6 or 7 shot clock violations.
They were outscored 15-6 in the second quarter as their starting 5 on the floor, to include Hammond, who misses her first shot of this half. Worley, Hammond, McTeer, Jones, and Lawrence, Fields, Johnson, Richardson, Diawara, and Wheeler, who has a game-high 13 on the floor for Norfolk State. Skip pass to Diawara, extra pass to Richardson for 3, ring it up.
Well, talk about Richardson's game. Again, has improved since last year. Last year she was a freshman. This year, she's not just a 6th player. She is earned her spot in the starting lineup for the Spartans.
Lawrence leading the way with 6 for Coppin. Here is Worley from the baseline. Long rebound chased down by Fields. Up ahead to Richardson. And it's tied up. Arrow stays this end with Norfolk State.
Nice defense by the Eagles.
Johnson on a catch and shoot. Hits the corner 3.
Nothing to think about.
I mean, you gave the defense no time to get set on that shot.
You got to get out there on Diamond.
A 22-point advantage, largest lead for Norfolk State. Here's Jones. Still can't get on track. Johnson races it down. Richardson spoon feeds it to Wheeler, and she'll lay it in. And Coach Woods has to use a timeout as Norfolk State has jumped out to a 24-point lead on an 8-0 run to start this quarter. Once again, Johnson and Wheeler leading the way, up 24. Here at Norfolk, this is our bracket on the women's side of this year's MEAC tournament. Game in progress right now. Norfolk State leading 36-13 as they credited Diamond Johnson with a 2-point basket as opposed to a 3, as they reviewed that during the break. The game following us will be 2 versus 3. Howard and Maryland Eastern Shore, all leading up to Championship Saturday here at the Scope. Tenacious pressure by Norfolk State. Layla Lawrence going inside against Wheeler. Misses both attempts. Here comes Norfolk State in transition. Johnson, Richardson, Fields for 3. Johnson grabbed the rebound and was tied up with McTeer. And Coppin State gets the alternating arrow.
Yeah, that time McTeer not boxing out Diamond Johnson. Jump ball situation, which favors the Eagles.
Yeah, our 3 officials had a conversation about that shot by Diamond Johnson during the break. Shalisa Painter, standout basketball player at GW and Old Dominion, and all Tidewater performer, made that overturn. Here's Wheeler inside going up against Lawrence. Diawara tipped it out of bounds, and Coppin State regains possession.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Wheeler even put the ball on the deck. I mean, she was wide open for a little short jumper. Missed opportunity.
Richardson with quick hands in the backcourt. We've seen that a lot, haven't we?
Oh, we have.
Post players taking that extra dribble. Hammond with her left hand and wrist wrapped. under 10 to shoot as a foul called by Mojay Finney-Smith, the sister of NBA standout Dorian Finney-Smith.
We got some legends. We have some legends in the house.
This is I mean, I would have these three on a pickup game any day of the week. All three standouts in this area in high school as Lawrence hits the fadeaway jumper. The two ladies played tremendous collegiate basketball. Finney-Smith played at VCU and Hampton.
Hampton, who used to be in the MEAC.
Yes, indeed. Last team to three-peat in this conference on the women's side. And we can't forget about Jimmy Gerald, his standout career at Virginia State when he played. Ball on the floor with Wheeler and Lawrence, and another jump ball, and the arrow will favor Norfolk State. About 3 or 4 times that arrow has been put in play, Coach.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that yesterday. And then start of this third quarter, there's been a lot of jump ball situations. So credit Eagles coming out being a little more aggressive on defense.
Diawara had to put one up with the shot clock winding down, and a violation on Norfolk State. Only their 7th turnover of this game. Coppin State has actually done a pretty good job against the Spartans defense. They have committed 10 turnovers so far.
Well, they've definitely picked it up on defense, but now they need a little more offense.
There's turnover number 11. Here's Johnson trying to score off of the turnover. Wheeler an offensive rebound, and Tyler Gray got her hand caught in a cookie jar.
Well, really that time, you know, you're going to give Diamond Johnson that type of spacing and not get out there on her. I mean, although she came up short on the baseline jumper, but you got to get on Diamond Johnson. You can't, again, you cannot allow her to have any space to put up a shot.
Johnson 5 of 10 from the field so far, looking to add to that with the little scoop to the hoop.
And when you look at this lineup for the Spartans, every single player except for one is graduating. This entire starting lineup, -1.
That would be Richardson. As that three put up by Gaston just grazed the front part of the rim. And Norfolk State, shooting 43% from the field so far, will look to add to their 23-point lead. Trying to make the championship game for the 5th time in the last 6 tournaments. Here's Fields. Wheeler with the long 2 and showing off the range here today.
Well, you got 2 of the best post players. Both can put the ball on the deck and get to the hole. And they also can shoot.
17 for Wheeler so far. Here is Lawrence. Ball picked up by Johnson. On the break, 2-on-1. Johnson to Richardson, gets her own miss.
Gotta love that shot that that pass by
Wheeler. Wheeler is a flamethrower this afternoon for Norfolk State.
Yeah, I didn't finish my sentence to talk about the post players that can not just score in the paint, but got range.
Johnson forces another turnover, and Diawara, the pass a little too low for Wheeler. Timeout on the floor with 4:36 to go in the third. Norfolk State has outscored Coppin 14-2 behind Wheeler. Knocking down the triple. It's all Norfolk State as they're up 28. Norfolk State with a 28-point lead, and they've been doing it in the paint behind number 22.
Kiera Wheeler, tough to defend, showing her versatility. Here we see her going up strong, but not just down low in the box. She is getting it done. Taking that was a coast to coast where she got the rebound, went all the way in. Again, Kiera Wheeler leading all scorers with a total of 20 in 23 minutes that she has played. We'll have to see how long coach decides to keep her out there on the court.
Richardson gets the steal for Norfolk State and finds Johnson. Can't convert. Richardson keeps it alive and a new 20 for the Spartans. Here's Fields for three. And the rebounding go by Balinga. How about this stat? Wheeler has outscored Coppin State by herself by 5 points.
Don, I wasn't going to point that out. I mean, I think we both were maybe expecting that this would be a little closer. And right now, the Spartans definitely is putting on a clinic today.
Spartans are currently on a 7-0 run over the last 2+ minutes. A steal by Moore. Going up against Williams. Tough shot and lays it in. Kyla Moore breaks the 7-0 run. We look to Wheeler. The head fake on Lawrence and two more for Miss Wheeler, now with 22.
And the Spartans continue to full court press despite the score.
Fields tried to get a tie-up. Found Moore left open for three. And Williams the rebound.
Well, that time Lawrence, she had 3 defenders on her.
Clark loses the handle but is fouled. We mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast how Wheeler has had good success against Coppin State during the regular season. She averaged 23.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and shot 53% from the field in those 2 meetings against the Eagles.
But nothing has changed.
22 points, 8 rebounds, shoots 9 of 13 from the field, and Diamond Johnson adds to her total. She's got 15 on 7 of 13 shooting.
And again, the Spartans continue to full court press.
They're looking ahead to the big picture. A 30-point lead and a blocked shot by Wheeler.
And I remember watching Wheeler when she was a freshman, and I just said, this young lady is going to be good. She was talented her freshman year, but every year she has improved her game.
Balinga gets the offensive rebound, and she is fouled. That's going to be on Nia Fields, her third. Well, Norfolk State is on a mission. They have been to the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row. Lost to Stanford last year in the first round. Looking to try to get over that hurdle of not only making it, but going deep in the tournament this year.
Well, I think with their body of work that they've put in throughout the season, they will definitely not be that 16th seeded team.
I don't think so. As another foul committed by Coppin State. Kyla Moore, the freshman from out of Chesapeake, her first. I mean, they strengthened their non-conference schedule this year. They went 2-1 against SEC teams, beat Missouri and Auburn. Lost to Alabama only by 10. Diamond Johnson for three. Offensive rebound, Williams. Out of bounds. It'll stay with Norfolk State. They beat St. Louis from the A-10. They did A&T from the CAA, another CAA team in Drexel. Lost a tough one to Washington State, who was in the West Coast Conference this year. They didn't shy away.
Not at all.
Playing some of the heavy hitters in college basketball, as Clark missed the corner three, retrieved by Coppin State. And a steal by Fields. Johnson on the move with a little runner. And out of bounds, it'll stay with Norfolk State.
So what are you thinking in terms of their ranking? Definitely not a 16. We heard Dawn Staley talk about that.
Oh, she mentioned that
she
too.
mentioned that.
So she was like, she felt that Norfolk State was nowhere near of a 16 seed. And credit her for playing these teams in the MEAC on a regular basis, as well as Fields misses the three. I think if they win this tournament, I would say maybe a 15 or 14 seed. Here's Lawrence on the drive, draws a foul. And she'll get 2 attempts. As that's going to be on Nia Fields, her 4th.
Layla Lawrence, she is still just working hard out there.
So we're in agreement. No 16 seed of Norfolk State.
Definitely not a 16.
Wins it.
It would be nice to see them be somewhere around 14. Definitely puts them in a better position to get that upset.
You wouldn't see the #1 seed right off the bat. More than likely, you wouldn't see the overall #1 seed right off the bat in the tournament. You know, a 3-14 matchup, usually that has an upset or 2 in that pod, as Lawrence makes 1 or 2. And you got 2 of the best players in this league to be on that platform, in Johnson and Wheeler.
So it looks like today they are going to be victorious and be playing on Saturday.
As Clark hits the 3 from the corner, her first field goal this afternoon, and only Norfolk State's 5th made 3 in the game.
And the Spartans still not letting up with this full court press. They've continued to press the entire game.
And then also for Coach Vickers, this will be 3 straight 25-plus win seasons. Could be victory number 29, which will be the most in the Division I era for Norfolk State, as McTeer is fouled inside. And that will go against Diamond Johnson, her 2nd.
So we know everyone is waiting to see the matchup with Howard and Spartans. Howard coming up next.
And there's a team from the Shore that's saying, hold up.
That's right.
Really needs the Shore in the semifinals, trying to say, hey, you know, Malika Willis is saying, we might bust that bubble. They don't want to see a Howard Norfolk State trilogy in the final. Under a minute left here in the 3rd, and it's Norfolk State, which has outscored Coppin State 21-7 here in this 3rd quarter. Diamond Johnson, look what I found inside off of the miss. 17 for the player of the year in the conference. Here's Worley. Hits her first shot since the first points of the quarter in the game for Coppin State. She has 5.
Nice little floater.
Shot clock is off for Coppin State. Whip pass to Williams for 3. And that'll end the 3rd quarter. Kiera Wheeler, Diamond Johnson combining to score 39 of Norfolk State's 52 points as they lead by 30 after 3 on ESPN+. 4th quarter about to begin here in Norfolk for the semifinal of the MEAC Women's Tournament. As you just saw with the score line, it has been all Norfolk State since the word go. A 14-0 run in that first quarter spearheaded the Spartans' attack as they've held Coppin State to under 10 points in every quarter to lead by 30 heading into the 4th.
And what can you say? The Spartans have just done a nice job defensively. That's the type of team that they are. And we've seen where they have continued to press, a full court press, since the start of this game, and not allowing Eagles to get into any type of offensive rhythm.
And Diawara on a great defensive play comes up with a block on Lawrence. They've held Coppin State to under 19% shooting for the game.
That's tough to win again, shooting at 19%.
And Williams converts from the corner. 8 points for Williams, who came in shooting just 30% from 3 on the season. That's her 9th made from distance. Coppin State has a couple of starters on the floor. Lawrence along with Jones and Hammond. Jones has been held in check today with just 4 points. Here's Lowry. Lawrence an offensive rebound. Goes with the fadeaway and popped in and out. Jones an offensive rebound and she'll score.
Well, Coppin Eagles haven't really had a lot of problems with getting offensive boards. They just haven't been able to score. But that time, Angel Jones being able to put the ball in the hole.
You surprised that Johnson is still on the floor for Norfolk State?
Oh, absolutely not. Remember, I said that yesterday. When you said, oh, they're going to be coming out, I'm like, oh, no, they're going to be coming back in.
Because Coach Vickers is looking at the big picture. Looking to a potential 5th championship appearance in the last 6 years, and maybe looking for bigger and better things after that.
And although Wheeler didn't start this 4th quarter, I expect for her to come back in as well.
Quick outlet to Hammond for Coppin State, and blocked out of bounds on a great defensive play by Debria Clark. Maybe not scoring a lot for Norfolk State, but she's still providing that defense for Coach Vickers.
Well, every single player has been very, very aggressive on defense. Again, talked about they have ran their full court press from the start of this game, despite what the score is.
Entry pass to McTeer, and she is fouled. That's going to go against Diawara, her first.
And that's going to bring Wheeler back into the game.
You called it, Coach. You said a couple of minutes, and does Vickers have an IOB in his ear over there? That's what her coach say. Trying to bring Wheeler back in.
Well, the Eagles get to the free throw line, but this late stage in the game and you being down by several points, you got to be able to make free throws.
McTeer, the transfer from William & Mary. She was an all-CAA freshman selection back in the 21-22 season, made 1 of 2. 8 minutes to go here in this first semifinal of the women's tournament as McTeer is called for her second.
Right now she has the assignment of guarding Wheeler, which is a tough assignment for anybody.
They look to Wheeler. Another entry pass to Wheeler with under 10 to shoot. Bounce pass to Williams inside, and she is tied up, and the arrow favors Norfolk State as she took a hard fall on the floor, but she's okay. She popped back up.
Well, that was some great defense by the Eagles.
What a pass.
Yes.
By Wheeler.
Her and Diamond Johnson both have great court vision.
Great defensive play there by Lawrence, showing why she was the 2-time reigning defensive player of the year in the conference. And Lowry is whistled for a foul. The whistles are picking up against Coppin State. That's their 3rd team foul here in the quarter.
Well, the Eagles are just trying to find a way, and right now try to harass every single player and possibly come up with some steals.
Pass hit Sky Robinson in the head and knocked out of bounds. Coppin State will get it.
She was not ready for that. Well, at least they can laugh about it.
They can with a 30-point lead. If it was 5 or 6, it'd be a little different. Entry pass to Lawrence, and she's fouled by Robinson.
Again, Layla Lawrence continued to work hard. Just trying to find a way to get some points up on the board. Lawrence only with 9 points in this game. Definitely low numbers for Lawrence.
4 of 15 shooting from the field anytime she got a touch in the paint, she felt 2, if not 3 defenders hovering around her.
Well, Lawrence, who wants to play professional basketball after college, that's going to be part of her game that she's going to need to work on, is being able to knock down free throws.
Clark knocking down threes for Norfolk State. Her second in this game. She has 6. A 33-point lead for Norfolk State. Lowry in the corner. Long rebound chased down by Fields. Under 7 to go here in the game. Clark will try one more time and does it again. Timeout, Coach Woods. A 6-0 run for Norfolk State over the last 37 seconds behind Debria Clark. 9 so far in the game for her. It's a 36-point lead for Norfolk State. Here at the MEAC Women's Tournament, Diamond Johnson on the bench, maybe resting for the final 6:44 in regulation. She has 17 points, but it was Miss Wheeler, the other part of that combo that Coach Bozier was talking about, being the best in the league with a game-high 22 points along with 9 rebounds, and she remains on the floor for Norfolk State as they're up 61-25 on Coppin State, trying to advance to another conference championship game. Lawrence guarded by Wheeler. They look inside to Tyler Gray, and she's fouled.
And that's what the Eagles are going to need to do. Just try to look for some quick little easy buckets, regardless if you're wide open or not. Body contact, possibly. Draw some fouls. Possibly get to the free throw line. And you mentioned Diamond Johnson sitting on the bench. There's still a lot of time left in this quarter, so I expect for Diamond Johnson to check back into the game.
Got another whistle. And that's on Fields, and
that's her 4th.
That's her 4th. So Wheeler and Johnson now on the bench for Norfolk State. Iowara also went to the bench, as might be some blood on her hand, finger, perhaps.
We had a lot of that yesterday, players going out.
We had 2 really physical games yesterday. We kind of joked about it, but there was some seriousness to it. You had to wear your hard hat. You had to wear those Timberland boots, because you were going to go battle.
And I thought the refs did a nice job of controlling the game as well.
I thought so too, absolutely. Worley gets inside and scores her 7th point to make it a 34-point Norfolk State lead. We have Clark, Fields, Richardson, Diawara, and Robinson, the 5 on the floor. Diawara had her shot blocked by Lawrence out of bounds. 14 to shoot for Norfolk State as we're inside 6 minutes.
Well, Sean, you said you saw Layla Lawrence in the hotel, and she said she was ready to play, and she did. She's come to play. Right now, I'm just not having much help offensively.
Debris misses on the 3. Robinson an offensive rebound. Lawrence comes up with another block. It'll stay with Norfolk State. And I thought early on, Coach, Coppin made a strong effort to get her the ball in her comfort zone, which was below that MEAC logo in the lane. Get it to her in the paint, but credit Norfolk State for, knowing the scouting report, putting a quick double on her, getting the ball out of her hands and making somebody else beat her.
And actually, just not a double. Sometimes she's been triple teamed as well, and that's why you got to have some other players that's got to be able to step up and be able to score.
10 to shoot for the Spartans. Here's Clark on the drive. Off the face of Malinga, and then recovered by Lowry. Here's Worley inside, and she'll score. She'll tie Lawrence for the team high now with 9.
Well, you got to love what you're saying out of the Eagles. They're not paying any attention to the score. You just got to go play, and they're still continuing to play hard and aggressive.
Lawrence is close to another double-double. She's got 9 points and 8 rebounds so far.
You got to give Lawrence the ball early.
Nice unselfish play by Lawrence and finding Balinga for the basket.
Lawrence with the mix match. Took too long.
It's been showing a lot. And
great clock.
Shot that from Eccles.
Yes, she did.
She shot that from Eccles Hall just down the road in Norfolk. She's in double figures with 12.
Yeah, that was a deep three.
As we are inside money time here in the fourth quarter, a 33-point Norfolk State lead. Here is Gray, called for travel.
Yeah, Leah Lawrence looking a little bit frustrated. She's there. She's open. Got to give her the ball again. She's got a mix match, especially Wheeler's not defending her.
Yeah, you're going to have the matchup advantage. It seems like anytime you get it in the paint.
They got to do a better job of that. We see Gray that just checks out of the ball game. Coach giving her a nice hug, most likely not coming back. This is a player who was out since January and got the start here at the tournament. And so it looks like she's going to be done for today.
Yeah, there was some concern as to whether or not she would even play in the tournament. Well, she did. Had a solid game against Central yesterday. It did not score in 19 minutes. And what will be her final game in a Coppin State uniform. Debris, Clark at the line. Hits both.
Bird Clark quickly comes up with 14 points.
14 a big second half for NSU. And another turnover by Coppin State. On the run is Richardson. Offensive rebound by Hill, and she is fouled. Genesis Hill, a sophomore from Virginia Beach, will get 2 cracks at the line.
And she was able to get into the ball game yesterday.
There's Clark coming up with a big play as she has scored all 14 of her points in the second half.
Yeah, Debris Clark only in 18 minutes.
She's the new version of the microwave, Vinnie Johnson. Old Detroit Pistons, 6th man.
I like that award.
67-31. Norfolk State with the lead under 4 to go here in this first semifinal today for the women. Later we got Howard and Maryland Eastern Shore. Lawrence on the spin and gets the bounce.
So I thought that coach would have checked in Diamond Johnson, and she actually went up to coach and said, "Can I get back in the game?" And he said,
Did he say it or did he just shake his head?
Oh, he shook his head.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot of talking.
Fields' 3 was in and out. Her and Clark had 2 pretty good looks from behind the arc. They're 9 of 26 from 3 this afternoon. Coppin State 1 of 18 from 3 today. Shot clock under 10.
You got to shoot.
Here is Jenkins inside, and she got fouled with 1 second on the shot clock.
And Jenkins put that ball on the deck, but you're wide open for that little short jumper. You got to put it in, especially you're racing the shot clock. And you're trying to find a way to put some points on the board when you're down by 34.
Coach Vickers has emptied his bench as Clark and Richardson joined Johnson and Wheeler on the bench. So it's Fields, Niawara, Robinson, Williams, and Hill. And Norfolk State just turned it over.
Yeah, you got to catch it first. She is ready to take a step. and go. And Coach Vickers is not happy about that.
Only the 11th turnover for Norfolk State, but by the looks of Vickers, can't tell if he's happy or not. Lowry for three. Robinson grabs a loose ball. Here is Hill up ahead, and she'll lay it in. Hill didn't play against South Carolina State on Wednesday. He's got her first two of this tournament. And a turnover. Fields goes against Moore, and she'll score.
And that's going to be her first 2 points of the game.
She missed her first 5 attempts from the field and had good looks from 3. They just didn't go down, but she got her first layup. And it's a 71-33 lead.
I was just going to say, Lawrence, yeah, got to face the basket and just try to slow up that jump shot. Double-double.
Her 21st of the year as a blocking foul is called with Lawrence on the floor. That'll be her second.
Well, Robinson, who's going to the free throw line right now, she is the only player for the Spartans that has not scored. So if she can knock down 1 or 2 free throws, then she'll be in the scorebook. So we see Layla Lawrence checking out of the ball game.
Lawrence is substituted by Belinga.
Nice little conversation, Coach and Layla. She has so much respect for her coach. She credits him for where she has gotten to, and so it's a great relationship between those two. Again, you know, she wants to go on and play professional basketball, and I think she definitely has the opportunity to be able to continue her career.
21 double-doubles this year. That's 4th in the country. 10 of the last 12 games, she had a double-double, and she had 45 in her career at Coppin State. Double-doubles in both games in this tournament. She had 15 and 13 against Central yesterday as we're inside 1 minute. Worley spots up. And it will stay with Coppin State. Good play and good hustle by Lowry to keep possession in favor of Coppin State. 50.8 seconds to go, and Norfolk State will head to the conference championship game for the 5th time in 6 seasons.
Well, going back to Layla Lawrence, definitely has had a great career. Also had a great tournament.
Yeah.
Just didn't have any help today.
2-time All-MEAC performer, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Worley with the miss. Robinson the rebound. All Norfolk State has to do is get it across half court, and they can dribble it out. And for the first time in this tournament, Coach Vickers smiles.
Oh, wow. I wonder what caused that smile.
That's the biggest win I've seen probably since last year's tournament championship win.
And I don't know if it's because that they just beat Coppin. I think something else may have happened to get that smile, because
he's not smiling now. He's at the end of the handshake now, but he did prior as Norfolk State advances to their 5th conference championship game in the last 6 years with a 72-33 win over Coppin State. Wheeler had 22. Johnson had 14, and DeBria Clark scored all 14 in the second half with their 29th win of the season, Coach.
Well, what can you say when you have multiple players on your roster that can score, and you can't win a ball game when you're shooting at 23%, which is what we saw to the Eagles. But Spartans, it's like a clinic today, and they got it done. And so they're not finished yet. Looking forward to playing on Saturday.
One ticket has been punched for Championship Saturday. Norfolk State in the title game for the 5th time in 6 years. But who will they play? Either Howard for a potential 3rd time, or will it be Maryland Eastern Shore? Stay with us on ESPN Plus, the second of our two women's semifinals here at the Scope, coming up momentarily as Norfolk State takes game one, 72-33. For our entire crew, for our coach, Ramona Riley Bozier, I'm Sean Robertson. Join us in about 25 minutes for Howard and Maryland Eastern Shore on ESPN Plus.